So for today's lesson, I came across this recipe that I saw online. It's called butterscotch blondies. Yum. Just the thought of that sounds really delicious to me. That's just me. Okay, so I checked out this recipe, and instead of making a big giant batch, like I would normally as a professional baker, cutting it down to, what you'd want to do at home. So I've got my 8x8 pan, okay, which is what a lot of people have. Okay, now the equivalent to this would be like a 9-inch round cake pan. Okay, we could also use, if you folks at home don't have an 8x8, you could also use like a 9-inch round. It's going to be a little different shape and all that, but it's still going to give you the same basic idea. Okay, it's going to be the right size for the amount of batter we're going to make. Anyway, so I've never made this recipe before, but it's just a regular straight up recipe that is pretty straightforward. So we're going to start with 3/4 of a cup of butter. Okay, now 3/4 of a cup of butter, that's going to be 1 stick plus a half a stick. Okay. And so basically a pound of butter is a pound of butter is going to be two cups. Okay, so that means that each stick would be a half a cup. Okay, so we'll use 1.5. Okay. Now I did pre-soften this a little bit to room temperature. So okay, and then we're also going to need 1.5 cups of brown sugar. Okay, now I like to use the dark brown. That's just me, my personal preference, but that's what we're going to do right here, right now. Okay, so we're going to go with, I'm going to pack it. Okay, that's what you want to do with brown sugar. More. Okay, look at that. 1 full cup. And then I'm going to do another half cup here. Pack it in nice. There we go. That should be good. Okay. So we got our brown sugar and our butter. Now, I'm going to use the paddle here, and we'll mix it on low speed. We're going to mix this somewhat smooth. Nice and gradual, of course. Definitely going to need some vanilla, so we might as well add that and get it out of the way.
One of my favorite ingredients.
Oh yeah, especially when it's done right. Oh, look at that. Yeah, we're going to want this to get nice and smooth, and then we're going to add some eggs. We're going to add 2 large eggs to this mix once the butter and the brown sugar become creamed. So let me get a cup for those. I always like to crack into a cup before I add it to the mix. Might as well get one ready. Okay, there's one.
That trick right there has saved me more time than I can even tell you.
Has it really?
Yeah.
What, like pulling shells out?
Yeah, well, one time I ended up with one that had blood in it.
Oh, yeah.
And that would have just wrecked the whole thing. I'm like...
So do you know what a blood spot is?
Not exactly.
In an egg? It's where a rooster got at it. Yeah, it would have become a chicken if it hadn't been harvested and kept cold.
Oh.
If there's a blood spot, then that means that it would have become it becomes a live embryo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I obviously wouldn't want to eat that.
Well, you want to pull that off to the side.
Yeah. Well, when I saw the blood spot, I was just like, oh.
Yeah, the
right
blood spot is actually, the real deal.
Yeah, it means it could be a chicken if it was incubated.
Okay, yes. And the yolk actually feeds it. So
right.
that blood spot is actually what becomes the chicken.
So it's like a chicken.
The chicken, yeah. It's Anyway.
Baby chicken.
How we get out of these things, I don't know.
It's just
look,
who we are.
This is nice and smooth, okay? I don't see any chunks of butter, and the brown sugar and the butter are starting to fluff. So I'm going to go ahead and egg this first egg here. Okay. I'm going to let that mix smooth before I add the other one, but I'm going to go ahead and get it ready, of course. There we go. Okay. Oh man, just thinking about the wonderful ingredients that are going into this makes me, I'm already wanting to try them. Alright, so now we're starting to pull away from the side. Okay. See that? Okay, now it's time to turn this off and give a scrapey scrape. Okay, so I'm going to get down to the bottom there. See how it's stiffer in the bottom, and what's a good there. I want to get that away from the side of the bowl and into the general bulk of the mix there. That's the idea. Okay, and then we want to get this right here off of there. Yeah. Okay, we want it to. Basically, we want the egg to mix in gradually. The more gradual it is, the smoother our mix, and the more incorporated everything gets, and the better it is in the end. The better it's going to bake in general. So that's what we're shooting for here, folks. Alright, we'll let this keep going for another minute or two. Once my chunks that I scraped up off the bottom smooth in, then I'll add that other egg there. It'll just take a moment here. Actually turn it up a little bit here. That's good. Okay. Let that mix right in. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get my pan ready. So I've got a pre-cut piece of parchment paper right here. Like I said, this is an 8x8 cake pan. A lot of people have an 8x8 or, something similar. So this is going to fit in, but I'm going to spray the edges first before I pop that in there. And I don't want that to stick into the corners. So there we go. I'll get that in there nice and even. No need to spray this part, okay? We just want to spray the corners. Okay, so now we just make sure that's all smooth right down to the bottom. Oh yeah, that's nice.
Looking good.
Looking very, very good. Okay. Oh yeah, very nice. Okay, so now might as well just let that run. And we need to add some flour. So we need, oh mercy, mercy, mercy. Okay, we need 2 cups of flour, and we also need a teaspoon of baking powder. And it says here we need a teaspoon of salt, but we've already got that covered with the
butter.
The butter, because I always use salted butter. because I always forget the salt. just being honest, you know. Anyway, so all right, let me see here. Let's do this. Let's take. Shut that off. All right, what I'm going to do is I am going to go 1 cup of flour. Okay. Now I'm not packing this in. I'm just scooping it out and leveling it off. All right, so we're going to start with one right here. Now, get another one. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is just add part of it. And I'm going to leave half of it in there. Okay. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do is get my baking powder here. I'm gonna add it to this. Okay, I'm gonna mix it in. So, teaspoon right here. Okay, so there's my teaspoon of baking powder, and now I'm just gonna mix that into the flour here. Okay. This way it's not all in one spot. Okay, and then mix into the mix a lot more evenly. It's already, added to the flour, so to speak. Okay, so now let's just give it a little tap here. And there it is, starting to come together. Got the mixer moving. Wow, it's working. Yeah. Ah, yeah. There you go.
Doesn't take a long time.
No. All right, so now let's. Whoopsie. Now, basically, what I want to do here now is.
Not bad, right?
Well, it doesn't make any difference. No, I want to scrape down to the bottom.
Okay.
One more time before I finish, the mix.